10,000 watts of power. It's the right talk.
Charlie?
Welcome. This is the Charlie James Show.
Now we're talking.
News Talk 98.9.
WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
And welcome to the program on your windy Tuesday afternoon. Good grief. It is windy out there. It's beautiful. The sun is shining. Everything is going great here. But that wind is something. Welcome, all of you beautiful people. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. You are just fantastic. We appreciate you tuning in this afternoon because we have got so much to talk about today. We're going to be talking about what's going on in the House of Representatives here in South Carolina as far as the Certificate of Need bill. We got some news on that coming up. Not a whole lot more news on constitutional carry that I don't put in quotes like Shane Massey does, but constitutional carry, of course, which I believe is your right. I believe is your constitutional right to carry a firearm, and that shall not be infringed according to a little thing called the Constitution. But we'll talk about that today. There is an actress who appeared at the Met Gala who thought she was a cat. Yeah, you heard that right. Spoke only in cat. And there's a woman who it gets very upset with a man who had the audacity, the unmitigated gall to dress his daughter in pink. That's as if it was any of her business how this man dressed his 2-year-old daughter. Well, apparently she thinks it is her business. So pretty amazing. The world in which we're living in right now. This is not the nation that our founding fathers had visualized when they were drawing up our founding documents. We'll get into that in just a second. This bank deal that is going on. Now, I do not believe that this is a mistake. I do not believe that what is going on with the banks is all coincidence. I just don't. But we are hearing right now that the bank collapses of this year are officially bigger than the banking collapse of 2008. Now, we all remember 2008. We all remember, my goodness. How many of you people lost your jobs? I lost my job back in 2008. Actually, it was 2009, but it was because of 2008. Lost my job in Columbia because of that. We saw what happened when Democrats and others want to come along and try to make housing more affordable for everybody. And so therefore, back in 2008, they come along with these low doc and no doc loans, and they just started giving homes to everybody. How much money do you make? $100,000 a year. You sure? Mm-hmm. Okay, well, here's your mortgage. Enjoy that. Now, don't forget, that mortgage is going to jump up in cost. It's a pretty low interest rate right now, but pretty soon that's going to change, and you need to get your affairs in order so you can keep your house. Oh, yeah, I'll do that. That's no problem. And then everything collapses, and they can't sell. Now, we saw that. So what are they doing now? How is this eerily familiar with what happened back in 2008? Well, now they're telling people, in order to get, once again, more people into the housing market, they are now, if you have a bad credit score, you get a reduction in your fees. That's right. You get a reduction. If your credit is bad, your fees are reduced. If your credit is good, well, you have to pay more in fees. What kind of thinking leads us to there? What could, oh my goodness, what could possibly go wrong? One of the biggest problems with our government and the people in it is that they've got the memories of a goldfish. The last time you tried to tinker with the housing market, everything went belly up. You want to get scared to death? Go back and watch the movie The Big Short. It will terrify you as to just how fragile our economy is, especially when it comes to housing. Okay, so the banking collapse, reading from Discern Report right now, the banking collapse of 2023 is now officially bigger than the banking collapse of 2008. Yes, you heard that right. Collectively, the three big banks that have collapsed in 2023 had more assets than all of the 25 banks that collapsed in 2008. Unfortunately, the banking collapse of 2023 is far from over. We've still got 8 more months to go before this year is done, and many more banks are currently teetering on the brink of disaster. Executives at those banks are saying, don't worry, but of course, executives at First Republic, they were issuing similar assurances just last week. Yeah, First Republic supposedly had enough reserves to keep going for months, but that was all a lie. And now First Republic is toast. The government isn't going to allow for just anybody to come in and snap up assets of First Republic. No, it was J.P. Morgan Chase, which was one of the institutions that was invited to make a bid, and they came out of the process as a big winner. They're getting $92 billion in deposits. So, who are the big losers in the deal? The FDIC estimates that the cost to the Deposit Insurance Fund will be about $13 billion. This is an estimate that the final cost will be determined when the FDIC terminates its receivership. Needless to say, the two biggest losers of all are the shareholders of First Republic. They got wiped out. The stockholders got wiped out. They got bailed in, then they got wiped out. Now, not so much the people that had accounts there, but the stockholders. And this is still pretty big. But is it all an accident? Is it just, or is it somehow by design? Well, in my case, I believe that this is somewhat by design. Because what they want to do is move us more and more towards the central bank digital currency, the CBDC, which is where the government actually controls all of your accounts, and it's all digital. There's no money. There's no cash. You can't stop off at, and buy Girl Scout cookies from the young ladies in front of the store. You can't do that anymore, or you won't be able to in the very near future. It'll all be digital, so that they will know exactly how much money you've got in your account, how and when you are spending your money, which to me is none of their stinking business, but they feel like it is. Now, they're going to come along with the whole talking points. Oh, we're trying to catch tax cheats. No, it's not. It's about controlling you and me. That's where the bulk of their money actually comes from, you and me. And they want to make sure you're not making a dime more than you say you are. So, again, I don't think it's an accident. I think it's by design. Charlie, why is it that everything the government sets out to fix always becomes more broken? Well, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. They had to break it. The Biden administration had to break it. I was thinking about this today. Everything was going so well under Trump. Everything was going so good. So the Biden administration, the Democrats, they had to come along and break it. That way, they can pretend to fix it. We'll talk more on this next. This is the Charlie James Show, News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
Express yourself on the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line at 71307
This is the Charlie James Show
on News Talk 98.9 WORD.
the voice of the Carolinas.
So if Joe Biden and the Biden administration would really like to help the American economy, the number one thing they could do is just stop printing and spending money. Stop doing this because it is not helping. It's not helping anybody. But listen to what Biden wants to do. Okay, listen to this. Biden is offering a $500,000 grant to English teachers that focus on what? A $500,000 grant to English teachers who focus on what? Well, I think, Tim, you know what time it is, right?
Charlie Challenge.
It's time for a Charlie Challenge. You're exactly right. Because I know you're the smartest, hippest, most with it, most intellectual, most informed radio audience in all the land. I bring you this Charlie Challenge. Okay. Biden, Sleepy Joe, is offering a $500,000 grant to English teachers that focus on what? What do you think it is, Tim?
Critical race theory.
Oh, you're so close. You're so close. All right, that's. I'm going to give you half a point on that one, sort of. But go ahead. Give me another good guess.
Transgender
Yes,
rights.
thank you. He got it, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm here.
Second pitch, he knocked it out of the park.
That's right. Home run.
He went yard, ladies and gentlemen. Did you see where that Japanese ball player hit one 168 feet in the air home run?
Oh, wow.
Highest home run ever hit, they say.
They say. Yeah.
They say. So I think Roger Maris may have hit one. Anyway. Yes. But not only that, not only is Joe Biden going to offer $500,000 grant to English teachers that focus on transgender studies, but focus on transgender studies to Pakistani youths. That's, yes, you heard me right. You heard me right. He's going to offer $500,000. The Biden administration is offering $500,000 grant to provide intensive professional development courses for transgender youth as a part of an effort to teach English language skills in Pakistan. $500,000 for English teachers in Pakistan who specialize on transgender youth. Yeah. So the Biden grant aims to promote English language learning of transgender youth and the professional development of English teachers in Pakistan. The grant is structured around three primary components. One, professional development for English language teachers for non-mainstream institutions. Two, professional development for novice Pakistani English language teachers. And three, professional development for transgender youth and for Afghan teachers, students, and young professionals residing in Pakistan. The program components that focuses on education and training transgender youths is open to proposals ranging from $25,000 to $75,000. Why are we doing that? Why are we doing that? It's, well, I'll tell you. The proposals should aim to carry out two primary tasks. Firstly, they should provide intensive professional development courses specifically designed for Pakistani transgender youths aged between 13 and 25. Second, they should offer intensive professional development opportunities to Afghan teachers, students, and young professionals currently living in Pakistan. So the grant is aimed to enhance language skills of marginalized communities in Pakistan and not for transition purposes. Yeah, right. We got that. First of all, why are we teaching English in Pakistan? Can I ask you that? Why are we doing that? Why is the United States government paying Does the government of Spain or Mexico, do they pay the United States institutions to teach Spanish? No, they don't. Oh, that's weird. Does Germany pay colleges and high schools to teach German? No, they don't. Does China? Well, China probably does, but they do it in forms of payment to our news media. So, but that's what this administration does. They waste your money. Hey, Charlie, I thought Pakistanis were Muslim, and Muslims are against transgender and homosexuality. Well, then they absolutely have to do it. So when they're out there teaching those Utes, the transgender Utes, how to be. Oh, my goodness. I'm serious. We're living in crazy town. And Joe Biden's the mayor. No, he is the king of crazy. He's the king of crazy world. Why are we, I don't get it. You know, when people talk about America first, this is exactly what we're talking about. Why are we spending so much money for stuff like this? Charlie, debt ceiling? But we're sending billions to the Ukrainian proxy war and Pakistani trannies? Yes, you're exactly right. You're exactly right. Oh, and they want to increase the debt ceiling. Charlie, I can think of a million ways to spend $500,000. What a shame. It really is. It really is a shame. But they don't care. Notice how the money is always there for what they need. The money is always there for Pakistani transgender youth. The money is always there for Zelensky, who, by the way, Zelensky might have had a big role in getting Tucker Carlson fired. We'll tell you about that coming up. But there's always money for their projects. Now you could say, hey, I got an idea. Why don't we spend $500,000, just $500,000 to help homeless veterans? That's just not in the budget. We don't have that money. Congress is going to have to act on that. The House of Representatives is going to have to act on that. But yet we got $500,000 going to teach Pakistani transgender youth. Right? Always notice that. How much money has Joe Biden sent to Ukraine? And not only just cold hard cash, but also in the cost of equipment, which we're going to have to replace with your dollars. Charlie, this is exactly why the federal budget should not be raised. The debt limit, let it all fall down. I agree with you, 100%. Let it fall down. Let it fall down. Because this ridiculous spending has simply got to stop. We'll be right back. This is the Charlie James Show, News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
Let your voice be heard. Call the GS Plumbing Talk Line now. 800-905-0989. Save it on your phone. That's 800-905-0989.
This is the Charlie James Show, only on News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
I tell you, if there's ever been a case that shows that we need judicial reform here in South Carolina, it is the case of Gerard Price. He was found guilty in 2003 for the murder of Carl Smalls at a nightclub near Columbia. He was released secretly by Judge Casey Manning. Joining us right now is Attorney General Alan Wilson. Attorney General, welcome to the program. How are you today, sir?
Charlie, I'm great. It's great to be with you again, sir.
Thank you. I mean, this case, when you read, because the South Carolina Constitution says that the family needs to be notified if something like this is going to happen, and that didn't happen, did it?
No, it didn't, Charlie. In fact, every law that touches this particular issue was not followed. There was obviously the individual, Mr. Price, was sentenced to a mandatory minimum of 35 years in prison, which he must by law serve day for day.
Right.
That was ignored. The process by which the solicitor, the judge, and the defense attorney were supposed to follow in order to allow Mr. Price to even be considered if he were in serving a sentence that could go below, they did not follow the process that required the filing of a motion, the copying of that motion with the chief judge, and then a public hearing where all the victims could be notified. Nothing was followed. And on top of all of that, Charlie, on top of it, it was sealed and only opened long enough to let him out and then resealed after he was released from prison. And the victims learned the day that he was released.
So, I mean, what as a taxpayer, as a law-abiding citizen of South Carolina, I'm sitting here going, how come this never works for me? Why did this work in this guy's case, and who's going to get punished?
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you the facts, and I'm going to let people to draw their own conclusions. You have a situation here where you have the defense attorney who is a member of the General Assembly, who's a lawyer legislator, who went and approached a judge on a Friday, on the last Friday of December. The very next day was the judge's last day on the bench. So the judge literally was the last day in the office. And obviously the solicitor didn't follow the rules that required the public, filing of a motion. So all of this happened literally on the last day that a judge was serving in office by a lawyer legislator. And so, the question we asked in our filings, why then? And by the way, the affidavits and the documentation that were provided to the judge as supporting documents that justified his release, these are the documents that said, hey, he helped law enforcement. They were unsworn and unsigned affidavits and self-authenticating affidavits. There was no formal documentation from the Department of Corrections. One of the affidavits was allegedly from his girlfriend. Yeah. But that stuff was all sealed from the public eye. And that's what just makes people question our system.
Well, frankly, people should question the system when something like this should happen. I mean, here you've got a judge who is sitting in the robe that the defense attorney helped him get. Don't you think there's some sort of a feeling of, responsibility to that lawyer legislator?
Well, like I said, I will tell people the facts. They can draw their conclusions. What I can tell you, and again, I know people are probably rolling their eyes right now. You can draw your conclusions as to what you think the motivations were. What I'm going to do is we're going to do a complete audit and review of what happened, what transpired. Right now, our number one goal is to get Mr. Price captured and reincarcerated. Obviously, we had a hearing. Tomorrow will be 1 week since the hearing before the Supreme Court. They issued their order within 2 hours of the oral arguments. Of course, to my knowledge, he has not been found and no one can find out where he went. So we presume that he is on the run. That Friday, however, Charlie, real quick, the Friday before the oral arguments were heard, we were concerned in the office that he was a flight risk, potential danger to the community, and we did ask the court to lock him up on Friday. And we do appreciate the fact that they scheduled the hearing within 5 days of our request, but we asked them to go ahead and lock him up, and I sent a letter to the Chief Justice. We never got a response. So obviously it's disheartening when someone who should be in prison is now on the run because he was released in this manner.
So, I mean, so I'm sitting here thinking, I'm Gerard Price. I just get released 16 years early. I'm not hanging around.
Of course not. I mean, for 5 days, he had a heads up that there was going to be, a hearing. And now, of course, we don't know what his attorney told him, and I'm not going to presume to know. But what I do know is that the hearing to determine him being reincarcerated for the next 16 years we were given notice. His lawyer was giving notice on a Friday. The hearing to make this decision was on a Wednesday, 5 days later. That day he left, and no one knows where he went. Charlie, this just
are you still there?
Top of this story is this is a need for judicial reform, if there ever was one.
So when we talk about judicial reform, we're talking with Attorney General Alan Wilson. What would that look like here in South Carolina?
Well, listen, preferably, I think most people like me would like to see it modeled on the federal system, like the president nominates a candidate for to be a judge, and then the Senate confirms. That won't happen here because our Constitution mandates that there be a Judicial Merit Selection Commission. So if you want to go to the next best thing, that would be to reform the Judicial Merit Selection Commission. Statutorily, all the members of that commission that receives all the judicial applications and candidate applications, and then they determine which people get forwarded to the General Assembly for a vote. All 10 members are appointed by the General Assembly. 6 of the members are actually serving members of the General Assembly, and there is no representation by the executive branch of government. Charlie, I would preferably like to see the executive branch of government have all the members on the commission, let the legislature vote on it, and remove the cap of 3. Right now, they only send out their 3 favorite candidates. If someone's qualified, let them get an up or down vote by the General Assembly and let it be in the broad daylight.
So the Judicial Selection Committee, is it the House or the Senate or all of them that vote on those members?
So there are 5 members of the commission appointed from the leadership of the House, and there are the other 5 from 2 members of the leadership of the Senate. So 3 people: the Speaker, the Pro Tem of the Senate, and the Judiciary Chairman. Those 3 collectively appoint all 10 members. And 6 of the serving 10 members are actual sitting House members and senators.
Is this kind of one of the vestiges of here in South Carolina? We have what's called a weak governor's office.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. I mean, obviously, if you go back 150 years, 60 years, obviously from Reconstruction forward, the way our Constitution was, written, especially in the 1890s, it was a convention served by, Ben Tillman. We all know about Ben Tillman,
right,
who presided over it. But it was drafted and made in such a way as to dilute the influence of the executive branch. And here's the danger: the legislative branch has a ton of power, but that power is the accountability for that power is spread out amongst so many people. So there's really no way to hold accountable for the quality of judges that we get.
Is there any way for us to prevent this from happening in the future? Is there a way to hold judges accountable for doing things like happened in the Gerard Price case?
Well, I think the first thing people need to do is they need to call their legislators and say, look, judicial reform, how we elect judges is important to us. Be open to, bringing balance to the imbalance in this process, and let the executive branch, namely the governor, make those appointments and y'all vote on them. So letting your legislators know is one thing. The other thing that we're going to do is we're going to start, if people feel like there's some anomaly or there's some violation or indiscretion by the court, we want to know about it. Our office will look into it. We're going to continue to monitor this situation. We do, Charlie, intend to do a full audit review of everything that happened that led to the Gerard Price situation, and hopefully find out what ultimately happened so that we can let the public know.
So how did we actually find out that Gerard Price was released from prison? How did you learn about it, since it was done so, secretly?
So the order was signed December 30th and sealed so that no one can know about it. On March the 9th, the order was unsealed. On March the 15th, Mr. Price was released. And then on March 29th, the order was resealed. I learned about this on April the 17th, which is a week and a half or 2 weeks ago. So, and I learned from the original prosecutor from the Fifth Circuit, who's now the First Circuit solicitor, called me and told me about this, that he had been in contact with the family, and that's how I learned about it.
Were his first words, "You're not going to believe this"?
Something along the. Yeah. Well, he sent me a text. He sent me a text saying, "You may want to get several of your top attorneys on this because I got something I got to tell you." And I called him to find out what it was, and it was it was unbelievable what he told us. But hey, here's the cherry on top. This is the family of the murdered victim.
Mm-hmm.
The way that they found out, and this is not the fault of DOC, it's an automated system, but they received a robocall saying your son's murderer has been released from prison. And so,
Wow.
and again, I don't fault the Department of Corrections because they were following the directions of what they believed to be a valid order because they were told it was a valid order at the time.
So unbelievable. Unbelievable. Well, again, call your state legislatures. We appreciate it. Attorney General Alan Wilson, always a pleasure to talk to you, sir. Thank you. We'll talk again soon.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you, Charlie.
We'll be right back. This is the Charlie James Show, News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
Text line.
It's 71307.
It's the Charlie James Show.
News Talk 98.9.
WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
Let's go to the GS Plumbing Talk Line, 800-905-0989. We'll talk to Mary in Greenville. Mary, how you doing?
Hey, Charlie. Good afternoon.
Yes, ma'am.
I have an extra addendum to the interview you just had that might be of interest to the audience. And that is that back in December of 2022, the state representative, Todd Rutherford, was a defense attorney in the case of the accused Evan Robert Hawthorne up in York County, who is accused of killing Lieutenant Larry Vaughn, a retired Rock Hill police detective. And Mr. Rutherford waited until the judge in York County, who had at first denied bond to the accused Mr. Hawthorne, that judge went on vacation, and a Greenville judge, who is extremely liberal, came into York County for 1 week on vacation replacement. Mr. Rutherford signed up for the bail hearing during that week when the Greenville judge was up there, and that Greenville judge made bond available to Mr. Hawthorne, the accused murderer of a Rock Hill detective, in the amount of $250,000. 10% down was $25,000, and the guy got out of jail the next day. You can look that up on qcnews.com. That stands for queencitynews.com, or WSOCTV.com. And Mr. Rutherford is in the picture next to the accused. And so this guy is playing the card that he has in terms of being on the committee to the max. And he is responsible for playing it to the max, to the detriment and, I believe, danger of the public.
Oh, I agree. I mean, anybody that would come in and try to get a convicted murderer released 16 years early. I mean, and then, of course, this case that you're talking about with Evan Robert Hawthorne, that case, that's not serving the community. And you're right about that. Any of these lawyer legislators that are doing stuff like this, I mean, good grief. It's hard to swallow.
Yes, we need judicial reform, and we really need a lot of people in the audience to call their state senators and state representatives, especially the ones who are on the Judiciary Committee, and demand judicial reform, because right now it's a corrupt system, and people are able to go free after killing people in DWIs. And in these situations with these accused and convicted murderers. Yeah, I agree. Thank you so much, Mary. Just an amazing story there. I mean, but then again, I mean, that's Democrats for you. That's just what Democrats love: criminals. They love crime. It's either that they love crime or crime just seems to follow them wherever they go. Speaking of DWIs or DUIs, listen to this. This is heartbreaking. Folly Beach. There was a brand new married couple. Minutes they had been married. Minutes. Had their wedding right there on Folly Beach. They were being escorted from their reception on a low-speed vehicle, which is basically a modified golf cart, okay? Remember, minutes after they were married, leaving the reception. The wedding party was struck from behind by an alleged drunk driver in a mid-sized sedan. Samantha Miller, the bride, 34 years old, was killed. Her husband, Eric Hutchison, and 2 other family members were very seriously injured. The crash happened around 10:15 at night. According to the affidavits, a responding officer observed a large crash scene with a golf cart, LSV, with its side up against a gray Toyota Camry.
multiple victims throughout the crash site. When the officer located Samantha Miller, newly Samantha Hutchinson, she was not breathing and had no pulse. The officer focused on life-saving measures on her, but she was pronounced dead at the scene. The other victims were in and out of consciousness. Horrible scene. 25-year-old Jamie Komorowski was arrested and charged with 3 counts of felony DUI with death and or great bodily injury and 1 count of reckless vehicular homicide. She was driving 65 miles an hour. That's 40 miles over the speed limit. Heartbreaking story. We'll be right back. This is the Charlie James Show, News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
from high atop Hogback Mountain.
We're covering the Carolinas like never before with 100,000 watts of power. It's the right talk.
Charlie.
Welcome. This is the Charlie James Show.
Now we're talking.
News Talk 98.9.
WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
Coming up in just a minute, Tim just had an interesting phone call from someone that did not want to go on the air, but we'll tell you about that coming up in just a second because I just absolutely find that hilarious. But speaking of phone calls, Tim, today I had an amazing phone call.
You did.
It was so fantastic. We're going to Scotland next week.
Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So we leave on Saturday. And so we called the hotel, the Russell's Hotel there in Fife, Scotland, St. Andrews, right there at the old course. And we just had a few questions. Had questions about valet parking. We had questions about the room. Apparently, we got an upgrade in the room, which is really cool. And then my wife said, and my husband has some questions about playing the old course. And the lady says, let me get you in touch with the concierge who knows about that stuff. So I got on the phone with this guy, and he was amazing. It was so awesome to talk to this guy. So I was like, what time should I be there? And he's like, well, you might want to be there about 2:30, maybe even 3, because when you get there, it might be 4 people in line. And make sure you bring something with you, like maybe a blanket or something like that. And then when you get there, you have yourself a wee nap while you're in line. And don't worry, it used to be really cold there, but they've got heaters there now. So at least you're not at the mercy of the elements. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so awesome. I am talking to Jimmy Perez from Shetland. It was just such an amazing phone call. And he was like, oh, and asked the night porter if maybe he could bring you a wee coffee, about 2 in the morning. And the answer will always be yes, because we take care of our guests. And I was like, this is so amazing.
Dude, that must have been awesome.
This is so great. Just to hear that accent and just to know I'm going to be amongst those people. Oh, I'm just so excited now. And he really gave me a lot of hope that maybe there is a chance that I will. He called it, listen, just tell them you want to play the old, maybe get in a 4-ball or a 3-ball, a 2 or a 3-ball with some folks, and it'll be great. It's just like, this is the best phone call I've ever had in my life.
Great customer service.
Great. It was so good.
Yeah.
And he said, the answer will always be yes, because we take care of our guests. And I was like, that's so cool. That is so cool.
That is awesome.
It really was. When I hung the phone up, I was like, where's my flat cap? So I got my flat cap on today, my wool Scottish flat cap, in honor of that gentleman that I spoke to today at the Russell's Hotel in Scotland. What a great phone call. Not so great a phone call you just had.
Oh, yeah.
But apparently
a very angry lady.
A very angry Democrat.
Well, I mean, it started out fine. I mean,
yeah.
Because, she was just saying, well, I disagree with what you had said about Democrats loving criminals.
Right.
And that she was a Democrat and that, she disagreed. And so I said, okay, well, you know what? You're more than welcome to talk to Charlie on the air about it if you'd like. And then she starts going off and then says everything over again, a little bit more mean. And then I said, again, if you'd like to talk to him, you're more than welcome. And then she said, I'm not talking to that a-hole, is what she said. And then click. So, yeah.
And hung up. Cha-ching. Hey, what is the motto? One of the mottos of the show? It's a great day to ruin a Democrat's day.
Yeah.
Mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished for today.
At least
May the 2nd.
In her case.
Yeah.
Well, my thing is
just ruin one a day, and you're doing good.
Well, I mean, my thing is if you're going to call in, like, wouldn't you want to make it worth it? And at least, speak your piece.
Sure.
Instead of just,
get on the air. Prove me wrong.
Telling the producer, what you would want to say to you.
Yeah.
Like, it seems kind of cowardly to me, but I don't know.
I don't care. I don't care if I upset them. I really don't. In fact, I want them to be upset because I'm upset at them. And when I say that Democrats love crime, I mean it. All you have to do, well, I thank you very much, 483. Perfect. I bet she was from Asheville, they say. 034 says, Charlie sounds like one of the new Asheville listeners. Exactly right.
I didn't get a chance to ask where she was from.
You look at Asheville. You look at what's going on in Asheville. And look at the crime rate that they have got. It is unbelievable. Unbelievable what's going on in Asheville. It's unbelievable what's going on in Atlanta. It's unbelievable what's going on in Chicago and Detroit and Washington, D.C. And all of these Democrat places that the liberals love. That you want to find the crime, go look at a Democrat-run city. Go look at New York. Go look at, like I said, Detroit, Chicago. Look at all those places. Just absolutely rife with crime. So either it's one of two things. Either criminals love Democrat-controlled cities or Democrat policies foster criminal activity, or a combination of the two. And I think it's probably a combination of the two. So I don't have a problem with people, the liberals getting upset with, because crime statistics prove me right. Absolutely. Listen to this. Fox News 2 days ago. Oh, hey, anonymous caller. Here you go. Headline, Fox News, crime-troubled North Carolina tourist town pays $75 an hour to county sheriff's deputies to help back up city cops. Oh, really? A North Carolina tourist town plagued by rising crime is resorting to hiring off-duty county sheriff's deputies at an overtime hourly rate to help the city police patrol the downtown district. A team of 6 deputies with the Buncombe County Sheriff's Office in Western North Carolina are being paid $75 an hour to help their counterparts in the staff-strapped Asheville Police Department on Fridays and Saturdays between 9 and 1. The document revealed details of a new pilot program the city of Asheville rolled out earlier this month to collaborate with county police to help. Listen to this. Listen to this. It's a small city. They have seen aggravated assaults rise by 21.8%. Armed robberies are up 20%, according to statistics. Do you know how many officers have been patrolling the entire downtown of Asheville? Tim, take a guess. How many patrol officers do they have in the city of Asheville?
500.
You're only off by 498.
What?
Only 2 officers have been patrolling the entire downtown of Asheville.
Wow. Asheville's pretty big.
Oh, my word.
That's ridiculous.
The department has been hemorrhaging officers in recent years, with Asheville Police Chief David Zack saying that he's lost more than 100 officers since protest choked the city in May of 2022. Oh, okay. There you go. So like I said, anonymous caller, who do you think was protesting back in 2020? Who was doing all the, you think a bunch of conservatives were out there protesting in 2020 and they're the reasons that these police officers quit the job? No. It's your buddies in the Democrat Party. We'll be right back. This is the Charlie James Show, News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
Plumbing Talk Line. Now 800-50989. Save it on your phone. That's 800-905-0989.
This is the Charlie James Show, only on News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
Coming up in just a minute, we're going to talk about women. Women, I tell you, that's what we're going to be talking about. Right now, we're going to go to Robert on the GS Plumbing Talk Line, 800-905-0989. Robert, how you doing, buddy?
Just fine, Charlie. I'm a little bit angry.
Yeah.
I heard that Democrat was too scared to talk to you and denied the fact that they are criminals.
Yeah.
You can't tell me Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, Jim Biden are saints.
No.
Those people need to be in jail. They need to be challenged for cheating the vote, and they need to be taken off the ballot. That's how bad they are, a cheat the vote type of trash. And anybody that tells you that they don't sponsor criminals from the Democrats is a liar.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look at that. They want to.
Jim. I'm sorry.
They want to defund the police. They want to let prisoners out of jail. It's just listen. But Joe Biden, the Biden family, they are actually products. They are products of the ideology of the Democrats. They're the products.
Oh, thank you for letting me get the steam out.
Well, I appreciate it, Robert.
It made me mad when I heard that woman.
That's okay. Listen, no skin off my nose.
They would say something like that.
Yeah, well.
They don't sponsor criminals, and they voted for that clown.
I know.
At the White House.
Yeah.
No way.
You got it. Robert, I appreciate your call, buddy. Thank you. But listen, here's the thing, because somebody just sent a text and said, listen, I don't want to talk, listen, if you don't want to talk on the air, why then call in and give out to my producer?
Yeah, why call in and yell at me?
Yeah, why are you yelling at Tim?
Yeah,
why are you doing that?
Yeah, I didn't say it, first of all.
And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you the real reason why it happens. Why you today were the easy target, Tim.
Why's
because that? Democrats know. Well, first of all, they didn't want to be embarrassed in public.
Yeah.
Okay. Because everybody would have heard them. They can do it kind of anonymously, call you up, chew you out, call me an a-hole or whatever. Really, I don't care. But the liberal talking points do not hold up under pressure. That's why there are no successful liberal talk shows. There are none.
Only the ones that lie to you.
No, I mean, even there, about the only liberal talk host that had any success whatsoever was Alan Combs. And that was it. Other than that, when you get a liberal on the air and you start actually going with the facts, they fold like a house of cards.
Yep, I've seen it many times.
Because their ideology doesn't hold up.
Yep.
When you say, we are not soft on crime, really? You want to defund the police, right? Well, it's because, there's over-policing in neighborhoods. Well, don't police actually make neighborhoods more safe? Yeah, but what happens is blah, blah, blah.
Not to mention that there were cities burning in the background of
Tim,
news things.
Those were mostly peaceful protests.
I mean,
I'm just
saying. I didn't say it was anything other than cities burning.
They never wanted to say anything. I mean, when you sit here and you talk about that barbaric animal that went in and slaughtered that family of 5 in Texas, they're actually calling this guy. Here you go. They're calling him a Texas man. That's what the mainstream media is calling this guy. He's an illegal alien who was deported 5 times. There were 5 actions of deportation against this guy, and he goes in and he kills a family of 5 people. And the mainstream media has the audacity to call him a Texas man. He was not a Texas man. That's the same way as they try to paint Dylan Roof as being somebody from Charleston that went into the Mother Emanuel AME Church and slaughtered 9 innocent people. He wasn't from Charleston. No. He was from Red Bank in Columbia. But they always, a Texas man. Police are looking for No, it wasn't a Texas man. He wasn't a Texas man. He was a Mexican national. A Mexican national. And he slaughtered 5 people. And they wanted to sound, because they are constantly trying to push gun control, gun laws, assault weapons, blah, blah, blah. Now they have to come along and say, hey, look, this is just a Texas man doing this. No, it wasn't. It was an illegal alien with an illegal gun that killed a family. And they're going to try to use crap like that to take your guns away from you. That's what they want. And who's going to help them? Folks in the South Carolina legislature like Shane Massey and Sandy Sin, who, by the way, both of them are having a little feud. I'm enjoying that a lot. I love when people I don't like argue against each other. That's perfect. So, anyway, but that's just it. I mean, the liberal arguments, the liberal talking points, they don't hold up. They never do. That's why their sound bites are only 15 seconds long. That's it. That's it. Charlie is, did you hear Jean-Pierre's press briefing on the Texas shooting? She put more emphasis on the gun. Of course she would. Charlie, look at the press secretary for Biden. She's a nut. You're exactly right. Charlie, don't let them get you down, Tim. We're talking about people who think a man in a wig is a woman. This is an IQ issue. You're exactly right.
Oh, it didn't get me down. I just thought it was funny.
Speaking of men that claim to be women, we're going to tell you what 2 universities are doing. And ladies, there's a man out there that wants you to know you're misogynist. We'll have that for you coming up next. It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
Grab your phone. Text 71307.
Powered by Common Sense Retirement Planning.
Be a part of the Charlie James Show.
News Talk 98.9.
WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
Well, ladies, I got some bad news for you. Yeah. Trans women are better than you. You heard me right. You biological women. So yesterday's news. Trans women are better than you. Men who identify as women are better than you. Who says so? Well, all you got to do is look. I mean, Joe Biden's spending $500,000 for English teachers in Pakistan to cater to transgender students in Pakistan. See, they're better than you. You want to participate in a sport? Fine, go ahead. But we got this guy over here that's got on some lipstick, and he's going to kick your butt. And we're not going to do anything about it. Tough darts for you. You see, trans women are better than you. Why? Because you are misogynistic.
A lot of times when I see cis women critiquing trans women and being misogynist, essentially by saying that we are caricatures of femininity, it's often because they're not used to seeing femininity on people who look like us, especially at various stages of our transition as trans feminine people. So there is an internalized misogyny to it. And setting that aside for a second, I do think for a lot of us, once we come out into the world as our true selves, we do kind of overcorrect the car a bit and really lean into femininity because it feels good to be who we are. Think about it. If you've denied yourself the truth of who you were for years and years and years, all you want to do is just bask in that once you get there. And it truly is like driving a car. It's like if you start to veer off, you have to overcorrect to get back into the lane. And I feel like sometimes the hyper femininity that people see is just us trying to express ourselves and overcorrect our own gender-based car. So if you see something and it rubs you the wrong way, like just give it grace.
No. I don't want to. You can't make me. Ta-da. So women, if you can't accept a transgender woman, however they put it, you are misogynist. You see, they're the new women now. What was that? That Tom Hanks movie about the oil tanker that got hijacked? Look at me. We're the women now. That's exactly what they're saying. We're the women now. Instead of I'm the captain now. It's we're the women now. They're the ones. In fact, listen to this. Emerson College, ladies and gentlemen, is going to provide feminine hygiene products in the men's restrooms. That's right. Emerson. A change.org petition started by the group at Emerson, and I'm not even going to read that, what the group is called. It called for the change to take place before presenting the approximately 400 signatures that the push had amassed to Vice President of Student Life, Jim Hoppy. We are an advocacy and education-based organization dedicated to fighting for inclusivity, menstrual equality, and destigmatization of menstruation and periods. The petition reads, menstruators, that's what they're called now, menstruators, cannot control when and where their periods occur. It can happen anytime, anywhere, and it will not help them if the nearest bathroom to their classroom is a bathroom that does not dispense period products. Oh my goodness. I know. I'm with you on this. It's the insanity. Emerson College. Oh my goodness. That really is just absolutely priceless. Emerson College, Boston, Massachusetts. How much does it cost to go to Emerson College? What's the tuition there? I just want to see Emerson College tuition. It is The average cost after student aid is $45,000. This is almost $76,000 a year to go to Emerson College and do what? Learn that men also need feminine hygiene products. And if that's not bad enough, in Texas, they have actually started using the term women. Tim, do you find anything wrong with the term women?
No.
Well, the University of Texas is now promoting the word women. Not woman, not women,
Oh my
but
God.
women. WIMMIN.
Oh Lord.
Women. So, listen to this. Why are they doing this? Because it will allow the students and faculty to avoid the word ending in MEN. So avoid the word men. So, my goodness. Women, a non-standard spelling of the word woman used by a feminist to avoid the word ending in men. This is now going to be something, or it is something that the University of Texas is promoting. Women. So that you don't even have to look at the word men anymore at the University of Texas. That's awesome. That really is great. That's going to change the world, ladies and gentlemen. Everything is going to be fine now. My goodness, see how much better your life is now that you have changed the spelling of the word women to WIMMIN. How about that? See, that's so much better now. Good job. Good job. Oh, my goodness. And they want us to take them seriously. They're screaming to be taken seriously. But they do stupidity like this. Charlie, why don't I just say lady? Okay, I will. Ladies, how y'all doing? Charlie, that way they won't have to answer the question, what is a woman? Well, I guess you're going to have to spell it WOMIN, woman. Charlie, please wake me when this crazy nightmare is over. Charlie, tell them women to make me a sandwich. Boom cha. There you go. Charlie, it's hard to tell what's crazier, Emerson College itself or the bathroom pretend crap. You're exactly right. Charlie, the word misogynist. Oh, read this one. The word misogynist, where did it go? The word misogynist comes from the Greek meaning woman hater. So they are accusing women of hating women. No, you're exactly right. Because trans women feel like they are the only real women. WIMMIN. We'll be right back. This is the Charlie James Show on a crazy world we got. News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
800-50989. Save it on your phone. That's 800-905-0989.
This is the Charlie James Show, only on News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
Let's head over to the GS Plumbing Talk line at 800-905-0989. We're going to talk to Ron in Moore. How you doing, Ron?
Moore.
Yes. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
Good.
I love what you're doing. I mean, you're almost as good as George Carlin.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. What's up?
That's it. Playing with these words, but I got a word for you.
Yeah.
I was driving up the road and I noticed something was acting funny in my truck. Can I take that to a transmission place?
That's right. When your regular mission just won't do it, you need a new transmission, right? You're exactly right, Ron. I appreciate it, buddy. Thank you so much for the laugh. But listen, I mean, we know the insanity is out there. Somebody sent me a text yesterday and they were like, all of this trans stuff is going to lead to a lot of mental health problems. So I was like, well, it's kind of a symbiotic relationship that all of this trans stuff has with mental health. And I told you yesterday, what was it? Those 3 hospitals in North Carolina that had minimum age limits where they would help a child transition. And it was absolutely shocking. Completely shocking. Let me give you this. Let's see if I can find this. Want to find this thing that I had. One of the colleges there in North Carolina, one of the hospitals, 2 years old, they would help a child transition. 2 years old. That's what they would do. And that's scary. That is, all right, so let's take a look here. Minimum age, which these hospitals will help you transition, help a child transition. One of them is 2 years old. Another 3, another 4 years old. It doesn't matter. Those kids are far too young to be making those decisions. And these hospitals know it. So ECU Health, ages for starting gender transitions, 4 years old. UNC Health, 3 years old. Duke Health, 2 years old. Tell me how any of this is right. These are grown adults. And listen, it's for the money. Oh, I wish people would understand that. It's all for the dollars that it's going to bring in. They don't care what happens to your kid later on in life. They don't care that at the age of 18, your child is also, or later on in life, your child is going to go, I have made a horrible mistake. No. And it's too late. But they don't care. They've already got their money. They're gone. These hospitals. I thought the Hippocratic Oath started with first do no harm. Well, what you are actually doing is harm. And let me give you an example of this. Let me give you an example. It was a couple of years ago on the Dr. Phil show that they had a blind woman on there. And the audience let out an audible gasp when they found out why she was blind.
To get back into
Well, wait, hold on. I got something else going here. We will we'll do this.
It's about taking your own vision, or the process with which you did take your own vision.
I don't have any regrets taking my vision. I believe I should have been born blind, and I'm happy the way I am. I do have some regrets about the way I did it, but in the end, I'm happy the way I am.
Dr. Phil, with all due respect to Jewel, but I am having a really hard time sitting so close to someone who traumatized herself, who damaged herself. We took an oath in medicine to help people. We see horrible tragedies every single day as doctors, and people who would give anything to go back and restore their vision, their health. My heart is beating out of my chest. I can't even make sense of the emotions I'm feeling, because to hear someone say, I've always felt I should be blind. Well, I've always felt I should be the Queen of England, but I'm not going out to become the Queen of England. Well,
this woman blinded herself because she felt like she should have been born blind. That was a couple of years ago on the Dr. Phil show. Well, now we've got another thing out there along these lines. It's called transableism, and it's getting a lot of attention these days. Oh, it's starting small, but it's going to grow, just like the whole transgender thing did. Transableism is a newer term for BIID, body integrity identity disorder, in which a person actually identifies as being handicapped. BIID has been relabeled to transableism to align with today's trans community. The point of changing the identifier from a psychiatric condition to an advocacy term like transableism is to harness the stunning cultural power of gender ideology to the cause of allowing doctors to treat BID patients by amputating healthy limbs, snipping spinal cords, and destroying eyesight. That, according to Evolution News and Science Today, which reports on and analyzes evolution, neuroscience, bioethics, intelligent design, and science-related issues. Culturally, transableism is the next abyss. Why? Because some of those people who mutilate themselves, some of them do that to themselves. Some ask surgeons for an amputation or to have their spinal cords cut. That's the new wave. When we talk about what is next, you're looking at it. You're looking at it. We'll be right back. This is the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
from high atop Hogback Mountain.
We're covering the Carolinas like never before with 100,000 watts of power. It's the right talk.
Charlie?
Welcome. This is the Charlie James Show.
Now we're talking. News Talk 98.9.
WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
So, Tim, the caller last hour, the Democrat caller last hour, they called me an a-hole. Did they say they were never going to listen again?
They did.
Okay.
They did.
So we've got an opening for a new listener.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you guys out there, anybody wants to apply for the position of new listener to the program, you can send me an email, charlie@989WORD. List your qualifications, kind of let me know your experience as a talk show listener and stuff like that. And we'll get back to you as soon as possible. But again, we do have an opening for a new listener. One dropped off, Democrat dropped off. So if anybody else wants, I know, but we are accepting applications right now for new listeners. You'll get an official listener number and all of that stuff. So that'll be part of the thing. I'm never gonna listen again. Hell, lady, I'm surprised you listened to begin with.
I know, right? She said she was just flipping through the channels.
Oh,
too.
yeah. Oh, I love when they do that.
Right?
I'm just flipping through the channels, and I just happened to come upon your program, and I happened to listen to your monologue about how. Right. That never happens. It never happens. So, how many times have you been flipping through the radio, Tim? Landed on a station and disagreed with the host so much that you picked up the phone and called?
I've never done
Never?
that. Never.
No, it never happens. It never happens. But that's always the thing. That's always the thing. Oh, I was just flipping through. No, it's not the fact that you found the show informative or entertaining. No, has nothing to do with that. I was just flipping through the dial when I came upon your show. And then I knew the phone number.
And what's crazy is she's not the only one that says that.
Oh, I know. I know.
They almost all of them.
I was just, I don't listen to the program or anything, but I was just flipping through.
They got to keep their Democrat credentials.
Exactly. Flipping through the dials there, and came upon your program, and I was quite offended by what you had to say, sir. So I know I don't want to go on the air and talk to the gentleman, if you don't mind. I want to. But I'd rather talk to the producer off the air. So, all right, there you go. So, listen, well, if you're still listening, ma'am, and I don't mean to assume, Democrats not only like crime, they like crazy. Democrats crazy. The Met Gala, a very big soiree that they have every year. It was at the Met Gala that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez last year wore the evening gown with written on the back, "Tax the Rich." You remember that? I think it was there. So she wore that. I think she got in a lot of trouble for that too, by the way. But they were celebrating designer Karl Lagerfeld at the last Met Gala. And he was the guy who famously said, he's a designer, he famously said that the world has no interest in curvy women. Well, I'll guarantee you the world disagrees with Karl Lagerfeld. There's great interest in curvy women in this world. Well, there was a model that showed up last night, or at the Met Gala. I'm not sure if it was last night. Her name is Doja Cat. Doja Cat. And she dressed up like Karl Lagerfeld's cat, Chopette, for the Met Gala. Tim, would you like to hear the interview with Doja Cat?
Oh, I'd love to.
Oh, here we go. This is good.
How about this? Wow. I mean, who made it? Wow. Wow. Okay, so something a little different. So, what was your inspiration for tonight? Be honest with me and go into detail. Wow. 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 So, what are you excited to see in there today? Wow. Is it your first Met? Wow.
Okay. Tell me that's not nuts.
It's cringy. It's cringy.
Tell me that's not insane.
Oh yeah, these people need therapy, man.
They are the looniest. Gee, Edith, look at the nuts. Look at the nuts out there. They're all running around like they're not, like they're the normal ones.
Yeah, man.
Like they're the ones. Okay, listen to it. All right. So let's just, not only do they want their craziness, they want to shove their craziness upon you. All right. So there was a guy in England, got a 2-year-old baby girl, and his 2-year-old baby girl loves to wear pink. Well, one of his neighbors took great exception to his daughter wearing pink.
Hey, so you've come to my house to complain about my baby wearing pink.
I was just asking really why you keep putting her in pink and not other colours.
Well, traditionally, girls often wear pink.
Well, I think you'll find that was back in the day. I don't think it's today. I think you can wear any colour you want now.
Well, no, you can. She doesn't just. She has other like clothes as well, but her favourite colour is pink.
Well, I've only ever seen her in pink, and I think that's not allowing her to have freedom of what
do you mean
gender
freedom?
she wants to be.
But
Freedom. Well,
she's a baby.
She's not a baby.
She's a baby. She's 2.
She looks a lot older than that to me. But anyway.
Well, hold on a minute. What's any of your concern?
Well, it's my concern because I believe that the world has got better since we've got all this fluidity with genders and different types of genders now.
Okay.
And I think by dressing someone in pink, if she doesn't want to be a girl when she's older, she wants to be a transgender or whatever, then she'll have been dressed in pink and you would have confused her. So I think it's nicer to dress people in all different colours. I mean, she'd look beautiful in yellow, wouldn't she? Let's be honest.
Well, yeah, she's wearing yellow now. Hey, baby.
She is. I hadn't seen she was sorry. But she's got pink trousers on with rainbows on. Now, I do like the rainbow.
Of course you do.
Definitely like the rainbows on her trousers. Now, that's good.
Okay.
But,
okay.
you know.
Okay. Firstly, yeah, you're wearing pink glasses, okay?
I think you'll find these are mauve. Are you colourblind?
Mauve.
Something. These are mauve. These
Mauve.
Are not... What colour are these, young lady? Yeah, she says pink.
Yeah, she says pink. And then she starts giving out to the kids. No, they're mauve. These are mauve glasses. Look at these. These are mauve glasses. These aren't pink. What business? I got to tell you, that guy was a lot more patient with that woman than I would have been coming to my door complaining about how my child was dressed.
Oh, yeah, I can agree with that.
There would have been a boot print on her jacket right there in the rear end.
Print on her
I
face.
mean, good. What business? See, that's the thing. Now, again, like I said, not only do they want to live in crazy world, they want to bring you into it to join in on all the craziness. And for some reason, they think they have the right to do that. We'll be right back. This is the Charlie James Show, News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas. Glad to have you along with us this afternoon. Well, Joe Biden, it looks like Joe Biden is actually thinking about sending troops to the southern border. That's right. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin today agreed to send 1,500 U.S. soldiers to the Mexican border at the Biden administration's request, though only to perform administrative tasks, as Title 42 is going to end next week. For 90 days, these 1,500 military personnel will fill critical capability gaps such as ground-based detection and monitoring, data entry, and warehouse support until Border Patrol agents can address these needs through contracted support. The Department of Homeland Security requested the Pentagon's assistance to get ahead of the expected surge of migrants when Title 42 expires on May 11th. The active duty units will focus on logistical duties rather than enforcement, of course not, leading Border Patrol to devote their resources to stemming the coming tide of tens of thousands of illegal border crossers. Military personnel will not directly participate in law enforcement activity, they said. The deployment to the border is consistent with other forms of military support to the Department of Homeland Security over many years. So, there you go. Yes, they are sending troops to the border. I wonder what Kamala Harris said about that. Well, we know a few years ago, she didn't like the idea whatsoever. Here's Kamala Harris. Well, wait a minute. Hold on. Where is Kamala Harris? Here we go. Boom, boom, boom.
Thank the men and women who serve our military and serve in the United States Marine Corps. I also believe that the administration made a decision to deploy them based on a political agenda.
Talking about Trump.
And I believe that it is inappropriate to require the limited resources of the United States military to be used in such a way when it was, and these folks who are being deployed there, they're going to leave they've left their families.
That's right.
They will not be home, looks like, for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And all because there needed to be some demonstration for the TV cameras based on a political agenda instead of what is a national security threat.
So once again, against troops going to the border in the Trump administration, totally for it under the Biden administration. Completely okay, according to Kamala Harris. Okay. But that's okay. So Title 42 is getting ready to end in what? 9 days? The southern border is nowhere that you're going to want to be. It is going to be the video that you're going to see of the people streaming across our border. Through May 1st of this fiscal year, that is from February the 22nd, February of, fiscal year 22 through May 1st, we have had 1,304,398 contacts at our border. Fiscal year 2023, that's this fiscal year, 1,441,193. That is 136,794 person increase at our southern border. That's unbelievable. Unstinking believable. And they don't want to do anything about it. Well, they're not doing anything about it because they know what's going on. They know they're going to try to get these people in there. Lindsey Graham, of course, is going to be completely on board for having all of these people get amnesty, become good Democrat voters. That's what they want. But they could care less. They could care less if it hurts you. In fact, they want it to. They want it to hurt you. They're all right with that. I'm sick and tired, and I'm fed up with it. Not only an administration that is doing this, but also with the Republicans that aren't standing up every single day and screaming about it at the top of their lungs. Why are you guys being so, and women being so silent? This is going to be, I mean, just think about what's going to happen to Brownsville and El Paso and all of these border towns. They're going to be inundated. And what's Greg Abbott doing? What's Greg Abbott doing? Little or nothing. That's disheartening. They need to be doing something. So, Karine Jean-Pierre does not like the fact that Governor Greg Abbott is sending illegal immigrants, aliens, to Democrat-run cities.
Thank you for the question. So, Governor Greg Abbott has said that he will continue sending migrants to Democrat-run cities after Title 42 expires. The mayors of Chicago and New York have already responded saying they simply do not have space.
Oh.
What is the administration doing to help state and local governments prepare ahead of the expected influx of migrants?
So look, it's unfortunate that Governor Abbott continues to play politics with migrants and with the American people, because what he's doing, that's what it looks like. It looks like a political stunt instead of trying to address the situation, or maybe get the congressional members and senators that are in his state to actually ask them to work with us on truly dealing with a problem, with trying to figure out how do we deal with immigration reform. Instead of doing that, he wants to play politics. So that's what we've seen from this governor. It's not surprising. That's what he's continuing.
What a stooge. What an absolute stooge. She was an equity hire, and it shows. Worst person ever to do that job under the worst president we have ever had, on that controls the worst administration that we have ever had, the most corrupt administration that we have ever had. In fact, we got news on Anthony Blinken, Secretary of State, who lied to Congress. Do you think he's going to go to jail? You think he'll go to jail? Think he'll be arrested? You think the FBI will come storming down on him like they did General Flynn, like they did Roger Stone, like they did Jerome Corsi, like they did George Papadopoulos, like they did Carter Page, like they did all of these other people? You think the FBI is going to come knocking on the Secretary of State's door and saying, "Mr. Secretary of State, you lied to Congress. You need to come with us. You have the right to remain silent." Do you think any of that's going to happen? No, of course not. Because Democrats like Clapper, like Brennan, they can lie to Congress. Like Eric Holder, they can lie to Congress and get away with it. Because we do have a dual system of justice in this country, and you are not on the winning side. We'll be right back. This is the Charlie James Show, News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
Voice be heard. Call the GS Plumbing Talk Line now. 800-050-989. Save it on your phone. That's 800-905-0989.
This is the Charlie James Show, only on News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
Liberals are outraged. I know, it's like every day they find something to be outraged about. But boy, Tim, liberals are outraged at a cable news network. Guess which network it is?
Fox News.
No. CNN.
Oh.
By the way, before we get to that. So I was watching golf this weekend, as I normally do. And I was watching the ladies play over in the LPGA, and it was on NBC. And they had these promos. And one of them was this guy, Vivek. I don't know, what's his name? Whatever his name is. The bald guy with glasses. In this one promo, he's like, we have to hear the opinions of everyone. We have to hear the opinions of both sides, even if we don't agree with them. And then it just goes on to be all of this stuff about trashing Republicans. And then there's another promo that MSNBC has with Jen Psaki. And she's talking with, I can't remember the guy's name. It'll come to me in just a second. Hakeem Jeffries. And she's like, how can you be sure that this won't help Trump in the next election? It's like so hypocritical of that network to even try to act like they are nonpartisan, because they are 100%. And we know that CNN is as well. Well, the liberals are really mad at CNN because they're going to be hosting a town hall. Who do you think the town hall is going to be with, Tim? All right, let's go. I'm going to present the facts to you now. You're going to be Hercule Poirot now. Okay. Great detective. Liberals are mad. They're mad at CNN.
All right.
Because CNN is hosting a town hall.
Okay.
With whom?
Donald Trump?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at you, Mr. Detective. By golly, you're fantastic. Yeah, they're mad at him. They're mad at CNN because they're hosting a town hall with Donald Trump. With the 2024 presidential election underway, CNN anchor Caitlin Collins will moderate a live CNN town hall with former President Donald Trump at 9 p.m. on Wednesday, May 10th, from St. Anselm College in New Hampshire. Wonder how the students at that college, St. Anselm, are going to react to that. Popular information newsletter author Judge Legum said first CNN systematically purged anyone on the network who was deemed too anti-Trump. Now this. Really? When did that happen? When did they get rid of the anti-Trump crowd over there at CNN? I think I might have noticed that.
Yeah, I might have missed that one.
Yeah, probably so. Former MSNBC host and avid anti-Trumper Keith Olbermann said, I think we can say that Chris Licht's conversion of CNN into a political and journalistic whorehouse is complete. Oh, my gosh. Way to go, Keith Olbermann. Now, listen to this. CNN's ratings are down 83%. That's right. They are 17% away from being a zero.
That's not surprising, though.
No, it is not. It is not. They had a huge loss of primetime viewers during the week of February the 27th, while President Trump is experiencing massive gains in his poll numbers and ratings. According to a report, CNN dropped 71% in total primetime viewers, 83% among viewers aged 25 to 54. Now, you folks that are not in the media, you got to understand the 25 to 54 age groups, that's the target. That is the target. You hit those because those are the people that are still working for the most part and are making the most money. They've got the most discretionary income. So when you advertise That's what you're looking for. That's the age group that you're looking for. And when you lose 83% of your viewers age 25 to 54, oh, that is not good. I mean, advertisers will dump you in a heartbeat.
It's a sad day.
Yeah, it's a sad day when that happens. CNN isn't the only anti-Trump news outlet that is suffering from ratings. The Washington Post, or the Washington Compost, as Trump calls them, they've lost 500,000 subscribers since Trump left office. And they're actually thinking about selling off part of the company. According to a report from Wall Street Journal, a far-left newspaper's subscriber count dropped more than 3 million. Wall Street Journal dropped 3 million. And now they've dropped another 500,000 for a 20% decline. So, obviously, President Trump loving this information, right? I will guarantee you, more people will watch CNN that night with the town hall coming up on the 10th. I believe, did I say the 10th? May 10th. More people will watch CNN at 9 o'clock that night than any other time, possibly in the, well, I won't say their history, but probably modern history. Since Trump was in office. We'll say that. We'll say that. Now, you remember Donald Trump's speech at CPAC. That outperformed all other cable news rankings. According to a cable news rankings report posted by Trump, the total viewership of the cable news rankings on Saturday, March 4th of 2023, revealed that Fox News' coverage of Trump's speech at CPAC topped the rankings with over 1.6 million viewers. Newsmax's coverage of Trump's speech also made the ranking with over 600,000 viewers, which is pretty good for Newsmax. So speaking of that, what are you guys doing now that Tucker's not on? I mean, the guy they got, you know, they had Kilmeade on last week. They got this other guy on there now. I can't think of his name. Never been all that incredibly impressed with him. But what are you doing? Where has your attention turned? At 8 o'clock, Monday through Friday. Are you watching anything else? And the reason I'm asking is because I need something to watch. I need something to watch. Charlie, why is President Trump agreeing to this? Looks like a setup. Yeah, I agree. I agree. If I were Donald Trump, I wouldn't go on CNN. Maybe he's got some assurances from Licht. Maybe that's what happened. I have no idea. So, but what are you watching now? I gotta have something to fill that hour. Right? So, there you go. All right. Charlie. Oh, 437. I'm not going to read that on the air. What is the matter with you? Hey, Charlie, watch the Andy Griffith Show. You can never go wrong there. You're right about that. What a great show. Charlie, watch Newsmax. I might have to try Newsmax. What is, what show do they have at 8 o'clock? Because my wife and I were talking about this the other day. I mean, it was probably last night. What are we going to do? So it's either that or we're going to go back and watch Steve Bannon in War Room that we tape. I don't know. Something. We'll have to do something. But what we are hearing now is that the folks at Fox News, the Murdochs, actually talked with Zelensky before they fired Tucker. Interesting. We'll give you more details on that. Hey, I got you. Okay, thank you. Charlie, Trump is shrewd. I'm sure he'll use the opportunity to show how horrible the network is. Oh, I'm sure he will. All right, we'll be right back. This is the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
Never miss a WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
Welcome back to the program. Glad to have you along with us. The GS Plumbing Talk Line, 800-905-0989. The Common Sense Retirement Planning text line, 71307. I would love to chat with you this afternoon. Nordstrom has now closed down in San Francisco, downtown. Why? Well, I don't know. They were tired of getting ripped off downtown. I tell you what. And again, just to go back to that caller that we had that didn't want to go on the air, but she yelled at Tim, when I talk about how Democrats love crime, I mean, this is another perfect example. You took one of the world's most beautiful cities and you ruined it. You absolutely ruined it because you were easy on crime. Now you've got at Target in downtown San Francisco, everything is behind plexiglass. Everything. Walgreens, all of these other drugstores, they've shut down. Nordstrom is shutting down shop in downtown San Francisco. They've got an app that will help you avoid the human waste as you walk along this. Why would anybody want to go to San Francisco? It used to be great. Remember, I left my heart in San Francisco? Now it's worse than that. But that's exactly what the Democrats do. That's what they do. They love that. I mean, if they didn't love it, they would stand up against it. But they never stand up against it, do they? No. No. They don't like that. They don't like that. So, another point for our Democrat friend who called earlier today. Okay. So, meanwhile, you've got some other, listen to this, Utah State Republican lawmaker. Now, in Utah, they have banned trans surgery on children and puberty blockers. Also, Oklahoma, performing trans surgery on children and prescribing puberty blockers is now a felony in Oklahoma. Good. Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt has signed into law measures forbidding the use of medical transgender interventions on children, with it now being a felony offense in the state to perform trans surgery on a child or prescribing them puberty blockers. The move has prompted outrage from U.S. progressives, liberals, with a number of nonprofit organizations vowing to take the state to court over the law change. According to a report, Stitt signed SB 613 into law on Monday, with the newly enacted bill rendering the provisions of puberty blockers to children under the age of 18 a felony. Conducting trans surgery on children or providing them with drugs that suppresses or delays normal puberty is also made an offense by the bill. Medical professionals who contravene the newly enacted legislations will reportedly be running the risk of having their medical license revoked and will also open themselves up to lawsuits from parents and legal guardians. Good. I'm glad, because it's time to stop this insanity. Meanwhile, the ACLU of Oklahoma says trans youth are valid, trans youth are cherished, trans youth belong. They want all kids to be trans. So the ACLU is going to take the bill to court, and they denounce it as anti-science. Anti-science, describing medical child transgenderism as necessary to allow under 18s to live authentically as themselves. The bill's been protested, including by pro-trans demonstrators who occupied the Oklahoma Capitol building earlier this year. They will do anything to get to your kids. Anything. Including Chelsea Clinton. That's right. Chelsea Clinton also wants to get to your kids. How? She is pushing sexually explicit material being made available for children in public and school libraries. That's right. That's right. The daughter of Hillary and presumably Bill Clinton argued against banning such literature from schools, stating that such a measure would be detrimental. Her comments followed an NBC News report on the prohibition of the LGBT-themed children books containing explicit content in libraries. In its annual book censorship report, the American Library Association documented 1,269 challenges to more than 2,500 books in 2022, the highest number of attempted book bans since the association began tracking such an effort back in 2001. It was a 75% jump from 2021, according to NBC. Of the 13 books that made the ALA's list of the most challenged books last year, 7 titles, including 3 of the top 4, were challenged for having LGBTQ content, the association found. Chelsea Clinton argued that sexually explicit books targeting children are a vital way for kids to learn about themselves. Way to go, Chelsea. Way to go. We'll be right back. This is the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
100,000 watts of power. It's the right talk. Charlie. Welcome. This is the Charlie James Show.
Now we're talking. News Talk 98.9.
WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
Welcome back to the program. Oh my goodness. So I got a question, Tim. I got a question for you. All right, couple of questions. Do you know the whole argument about is a taco a sandwich?
No, I don't know that argument, but I don't see how a taco can be a sandwich.
What? Well, all right. First of all, why not?
Because a taco is a taco, and a sandwich is a sandwich, and you can't have the sandwich Tuesday. You can only have a taco Tuesday.
Well, yeah, but you could have a sandwich Sunday, or a sandwich
Right.
Saturday.
Right.
So, but why? So is a hot dog a sandwich or a taco?
A hot dog is a hot dog's a hot dog, but I guess if you want to get technical, wouldn't it be like a sub?
But is a sub a taco?
No.
Why not? Why not?
Because tortillas and bread is two different things.
Not
right?
really. One's
Well,
wheat, one's corn.
One's shaped
You can also get floured tortillas, which I like.
I like flour tortillas.
So what's the difference? If you put a hamburger patty in a tortilla, does that make it a hamburger?
No.
Why not?
I mean, I guess technically it would, but
It
no.
would, wouldn't it?
It would just be weird.
So basically, a sandwich is meat or something else in a encasing of a bread or a grain type product, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So therefore, a taco is a sandwich, and a burrito is a sandwich.
If you say so.
I'm just pointing out the facts here, right?
Right.
Pointing out the facts here. So, if a taco and a hot dog and a hamburger and a burrito are all sandwiches, here's the question. Is cereal soup?
No.
Why not?
Because soup is not necessarily because cereal's cold and soup is not.
Not all. Gazpacho. Gazpacho is a cold soup.
Well, that there's an exception then.
Then is cereal a soup?
No.
Why not?
Because cereal is cereal.
No. Okay, well, let me ask you a question. Is alphabet soup?
Well, yeah.
Why?
It's because it's got chicken noodle or chicken broth in it.
I said, okay. But it's just suspended in a liquid, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so is cereal.
Yeah, but it's well, I don't know.
Cereal is soup.
Because milk
Cereal is soup.
Milk comes from cows.
Cereal is soup. Cereal is soup.
I'm never eating cereal again though.
You're having soup for breakfast.
Oh my gosh, you ruined cereal for me.
Hey, Charlie, there's a podcast called Hot Dog is a Sandwich, and they discuss pretty much everything you're asking right now. It's hilarious and interesting. But if you look at it, I mean, that's exactly what's going on. So you've got soup, cereal is soup, and a hot dog is a sandwich, and so is a taco. Okay, Charlie, one is savory and one is sweet. Not necessarily. Have you ever had, all right, well, I'll give you a great example. Have you ever had, acorn squash soup? That's sweet. Charlie, cereal is made from grains. Aha, but so are the noodles in chicken noodle soup. Right?
Okay, I see what you.
So are the noodles in alphabet soup.
But just because the noodles are made from grain doesn't mean you classify it as a
as a what? As a what?
Classify it as a
cereal
soup or a cereal.
No, actually, grains are cereals.
Well, yeah, but oh no. Well, then, okay, is cereal then oatmeal at that point?
Oatmeal is a cereal.
Right.
Right.
So, like, is that still a soup then?
Yes.
I don't know.
You mean, is oatmeal a soup?
Yeah, is oatmeal soup?
I guess if you put milk in it, it would be.
Well, not necessarily, because it's not real oatmeal. I don't know how other people eat it, but when I eat it, it's not a soup. It's just,
It's a mash.
Yeah, it's kind of like a mash. Yeah.
It's a mash. Charlie, not all soups have noodles. Tomato soup. Aha, you're exactly right.
I like tomato
I
soup.
like tomato soup too.
Mhm.
So what is a stew? A stew is a soup. It's just a heartier soup,
Yes.
right?
Right.
So I just found that interesting. I don't know why I found that interesting, but that whole argument about is a hot dog a sandwich? I mean, the answer is yes.
I would classify a hot dog as like a sub, but
a sub is a sandwich.
But, yeah, but I don't know. What about a wrap? Is that a sandwich?
A wrap is a sandwich.
Or is it a burrito?
A burrito is a sandwich.
Okay.
When you put meat in an enclosure of a grain-based bread type product, it is a sandwich, right?
Yeah, sure.
Charlie, then chili is a soup. Yes, chili is a soup. Charlie, oatmeal is a pudding. Oatmeal might be a pudding. Oatmeal is a pudding. You're exactly right.
I love pudding, actually.
So, so when you get a pudding, have you ever had Yorkshire pudding?
No, I don't even know what that is.
It's a bread.
Oh, okay.
Pudding does not actually mean the chocolate or vanilla or the semi-solid stuff that you eat.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of like just really fine grounded wheats.
Something like that. Hey, Charlie, then what is a corn dog? A corn dog is a sandwich on a stick.
A corn dog, a sandwich on a stick.
Yeah.
There you go.
So let's just look. What is a pudding? Let's just check out a pudding. Let's just take a look here. A pudding,
A really good dessert.
okay, is a sweet or savory steamed dish made with flour, like a Yorkshire pudding. Also,
okay.
here in North America, it's a flavored custard-like dessert made from milk, sugar, and a thickening agent like egg yolks or cornstarch. So there are different things, different terms for pudding, like flan. Flan is a pudding, but then so is Yorkshire pudding. So anyway, I have always found the argument about whether or not a hot dog is a sandwich to be fascinating. And it is a sandwich.
It confuses me.
It is a sandwich. Hot dog's a sandwich. Corn dog's a sandwich. A hamburger's a sandwich. A burrito is a sandwich. They're all sandwiches.
You know what this argument reminds me of?
What's that?
The argument that I had with people up north, whether soda is pop or pop is soda.
It's all Coca-Cola.
That's right. I mean, that was my argument. But I mean, like everybody up there was like, no, it's pop.
So somebody wanted to know what grits were. Oh,
good.
Yes, delicious, delicious.
That's all you need to know.
Charlie, what is a jalapeno on a stick? that would be a puppet. Charlie, a gravy biscuit is a sandwich.
Gravy biscuit is so good, though. Mm.
Is a gravy biscuit a sandwich? It could be.
No,
it could be. I don't know.
It's just a really messy sandwich.
All right. Is a sausage biscuit a sandwich?
A sausage biscuit. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. People always freak out. If I have a biscuit, I have to have grape jelly.
Why do people freak out over that?
Because it doesn't matter what kind of biscuit it is.
Well,
it doesn't matter. If it's a ham biscuit, it gets grape jelly. If it's a sausage biscuit, it gets grape jelly. If it is a chicken biscuit, it gets grape jelly. If
My grandfather was like that.
if it's a plain biscuit, it gets grape jelly
He ate jelly on
every single time. The only time it doesn't get jelly is when the jelly is replaced by gravy. And then you know what they call that? Magnificent. Charlie, wouldn't a gravy biscuit be a pudding? Yes. Yes, it would. We'll be right back. This is the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
On the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line.
It's 71307.
It's the Charlie James Show.
Talk 98.9.
WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
I apologize to the folks there on the streaming. I think I forgot to turn the audio on that last segment. Sorry about that. All right, so Tim, 361 is weighing in right now on the dark web. Okay. It says the main difference between the internet that you visit and the so-called dark web, as they term it, is there's no firewalls, which means it's not monitored by your big tech corporations. Less security, which is why you want to use a burner laptop or a burner phone. No.
Yeah.
No.
See, well, I mean, I know what a firewall is. I just didn't know if I said that to everybody that is listening.
No, but the thing is, why you want to use, I'm not going anywhere where I have to use a burner laptop.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that in itself is exactly what it is. If you go there, you go there at your own risk. You don't know who's watching. You don't know who's watching you. But you don't know who it is. It could be the government. It could be criminal elements. It could be, the cartel. Who knows?
This is a dark alley.
Exactly.
It's a dark alley.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can go down that street, but you need to wear a bulletproof vest. Okay. I'm not going down that street. Why do people, what are you there to do? Oh, we're there looking for more information. I'm pretty sure on the dark web, you're not exactly getting a lot of stuff that's on the up and up.
Right. Right. Well, I mean, have you ever watched like Snapped or any kind of like criminal shows?
No.
Okay. Well, there's plenty of cases where people on those shows say that they'll hire hitmen from the dark web.
Huh.
Yeah. So like, I mean, just think about the internet as free as it can possibly be. It's the best way I know how to explain it.
But when you say that, when you say as free as you possibly can be, I see, I envision running down a windswept beach with waves and the freedom and all of that. But it's not that, is it?
No, I mean,
it's more like street fight free.
Yeah, it's like a parallel universe of the internet.
I don't even want it. I don't want that parallel universe. I don't want that stress in my life.
Yeah,
I really don't.
That's why I said don't go there.
The regular internet is stressful enough.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is.
It's like click, 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 click. Oh, well, this is absolutely horrible. I got an idea.
If you have a webcam and you're there, like it's easy for them to hack into that.
Let's go to something even more horrible.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Charlie, wait, the government watches the normal internet? I know, right? I know that. Charlie, you don't go to the dark web looking for a date. You go there looking for a hooker. I'm going to presume there. You don't go there looking for car parts. You go there to buy or sell illegal merchandise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Charlie, 361 says, I guarantee you James O'Keefe goes on there regularly. I promise you that. Maybe so. Good for him. I'm just not adding that stress to my life to go to. I would literally be horrified.
Yeah.
To go on the dark web.
Yeah. I mean, it's just not a place you want to go.
Ugh. I feel like I would just need a shower after I did it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely a violating field.
Blech. Don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Well, you know what? Hey, Tucker Carlson, we know he got separated from Fox News. We're hearing that Zelensky had a little something to do with it, possibly. Dominion is saying they had a great deal to do with it. But Tucker Carlson is getting some huge offers now. Wasn't it OAN? I need to double check because I can't remember if it was OAN. Or Newsmax. I think it was OAN. Let me just double check. Yes. OAN wants to give Tucker Carlson $25 million a year. And not only that, they say he would be in charge of all of the programming. Everything. he would have executive control over the programming of OAN. $25 million a year, which is better than he was getting at Fox News. However, there's another organization out there called Valuetainment. Valuetainment sent this message, I guess it's an email, to Tucker Carlson. It's from their CEO, Patrick Bet-David. It says, "Dear Tucker, I'll get right to the point. We want you to partner with us in what we feel is a noble and necessary effort to define the future of media. Here is our offer. $100 million over 5 years, an equity stake in Valuetainment, president of Valuetainment, and the board seat to protect your strategic vision and voice, your own podcasts and other daily/weekly shows, documentaries and movies covering topics you care about. What else? We're all ears. Our convictions about freedom, liberty, and truth run deep, and we believe we are the absolute right fit for you and America. While we may not be the biggest media company, we are a new media leader driving into the future to make truth, fair debate, and commentary more accessible, consumable, and protected. We are 100% serious about our offer. Respectfully, Patrick Bet-David, CEO, Valuetainment." $100 million over 5 years for Tucker Carlson. But again, all of this is going to depend on that non-compete clause that he has and whether or not Fox News is going to hold him to his contract, which could keep him off of all forms of media, essentially, until after the 2024 election. That's interesting. We'll be right back. This is the Charlie James Show, News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
800-905-0989. Save it on your phone. That's 800-905-0989.
This is the Charlie James Show, only on News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
From the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line, Charlie Tucker could be cloned into an AI body with a different look and voice, but deliver his valuable message. His new person is not subject to his contract. Think about that for a minute. I mean, that's entirely possible, right? I mean, with artificial intelligence technology, the way it is right now, and I really think this is still in its infancy. I think there's going to come a time where you're not going to be able to tell the difference between artificial intelligence and actual intelligence, except artificial intelligence is getting smarter and actual intelligence, well, that's getting harder and harder to come by, isn't it? Especially over on the left. So, yeah, I would love to see that. I would love to. Well, I just want to see Tucker back in some way. In some way. Because the more voices, because now, and I'll be honest with you, they fired Tucker, assuming they fired Tucker. And let me know if you feel the same way. That kind of makes me look down on everybody that's still there. That kind of makes me look down on the Kilmeades and all of those people who benefited so greatly from Tucker being there. And they did. They benefited greatly. And then when they got rid of Tucker, they stayed behind? That to me is just, you know, it's just got a creepy factor to me. I'm not a big fan of that. So what do you guys think about it? I don't know what's going to happen to Tucker, like I said, but I do know we need to get him back on the air in some way, shape, or form. Because media is worse without Tucker. Media is worse. With fewer voices, media is worse. Because who's out there telling the truth? I mean, who's out there actually speaking out against this war, against, well, us spending all this money on the war in Ukraine? Who's actually speaking out about it? Who's actually talking about Ashley Biden's diary? Anybody? Anybody talking about it? No. Nobody in the media is talking about that. Who's actually, I mean, who's talking about the spending? Who's talking about the whole transgender ideology? Who's talking about all of this stuff on television? Nobody. Certainly nobody at CNN or MSNBC. And now Fox News is just a lighter version of those organizations. So what Dominion, and apparently Zelensky, because we're hearing that Zelensky met with Rupert Murdoch right before the firing of Tucker Carlson. Who's I kind of see him as Tucker as being the shepherd. In that the left feels that when you strike the shepherd, the sheep will scatter. So it's just amazing to me that how many people have stayed behind. Now, the Murdochs actually talked with Zelensky. Rupert Murdoch and his son Lachlan both spoke with Vladimir Zelensky in the months before Fox News fired Tucker Carlson. The 92-year-old News Corp executive chairman held an unreported call with Mr. Zelensky earlier this spring. Oh, really? That's interesting. So during the conversation, they talked about Ukraine's conflict with Russia. And they, Lachlan Murdoch, the CEO of Fox, held another call with Zelensky on March the 15th. While Zelensky didn't speak about Tucker Carlson during the calls, Tucker Carlson exited the station on the 24th, just days after Fox News agreed to pay Dominion $787.5 million over claims made by the channel. News of the calls caught attention of conservatives who heaped criticism on Fox News. Conservative activist Lauren Witzke wrote, simply put, Tucker Carlson was fired because he knew the truth about the war in Ukraine. Bridget Gabriel, who founded Act for America, added Fox News is fake news. So when you look at it, here you've got Zelensky meeting with Rupert Murdoch, and then all of a sudden Tucker Carlson is fired, and who is one of the biggest critics on television, if not, I mean, especially on cable news. He was basically the only critic. Everybody else was more than willing to just go right along with the Democrat talking points about sending money, millions upon billions of dollars to Ukraine. They have a call with Zelensky, and all of a sudden Tucker's gone. Look, too much going on here for coincidence. There really is. So whatever Tucker gets to do, I'm sure a lot of people are going to support him. Charlie, would you agree that with the statement that Tucker is the canary in the coal mine? Yes, absolutely. And they went after the biggest canary of all, the biggest one of all, and that was Tucker Carlson, because his was the voice that was getting the most attention. You see, Hannity has never been the voice of Fox News. He's never been the face of Fox News, because before Tucker Carlson, there was Bill O'Reilly. He was the face of Fox News. Then Tucker came along. Sean thought he was going to get bumped up in the senior position, but that didn't happen. Tucker took over. And then again, Sean gets demoted down to second string. Charlie, remember the January 6th video that suddenly stopped? Yeah. Oh, yeah, I do. I mean, Tucker was talking about how he had all of this video, and he showed several clips over a couple of nights. No. So, just amazing. Amazing. I don't know. I honestly, there are very few people that know what the truth is. But hopefully he'll pop up somewhere, because I sure need something to do at 8 o'clock at night. All right, folks, we are just about to get out of here. Don't forget the GS Plumbing Talk Line, 800-905-0989. Common Sense Retirement Planning text line 71307. You can always email me, Charlie, at 989WORD.com. I would love to have your emails. 603 says, Charlie, I lost respect for Sean Hannity because he keeps having Lindsey Graham on his show. And you know why? You know why Sean Hannity keeps bringing Lindsey Graham on his show? Because he likes him. And they think alike. We'll be right back. Well, we'll be back tomorrow. Y'all have a fantastic evening. As always, we love you. God bless. Buckle up. Bye, y'all.